Hello and welcome to the Engerati studio. There have been sessions recorded prior to this by our good friends and collaborators, Vasa ETT, so I hope you enjoyed those. I'm joined now in the studio by Avi from the DECT Alliance.
ULE Alliance.
UAE Alliance. I let the cat out of the bag, the DECT Alliance, we've renamed you. But that actually brings me to the first question. Welcome to the studio. The reason why I mentioned the word DECT is because that's what it's about. And DECT, 20 years it's been around as a protocol. And what are the changes that are making it relevant in this sort of connected market, connected home market, home automation market?
Yes, indeed, actually, the DECT has been around for more than 20 years. And it has been primarily used for the home telephones, cordless telephone market. But it is actually a great wireless technology that can provide and has the characteristics of that are actually surpassing any other wireless technology, which have been what I call a short-range wireless technologies.
Because it's got
However,
great penetration ability.
It has actually It has a dedicated spectrum. Nobody else has that. Look at Wi-Fi, Zigbee, Z-Wave, Bluetooth. They have to share the same spectrum. They are all prone to interference. DECT and ULE consequently are actually the interference-free technology. That's number one. Number two, the link budget, meaning the transmission power that can be used is actually highest in all other short-range wireless technologies, meaning that DECT has a very long range, longer than Wi-Fi. So this makes it actually extremely attractive to be used for home automation. When you walk around at home today with your cordless, you almost don't have to think whether I'm close to my base station or away, and etc., because range is so great that coverage is not an issue. So this actually makes the DECT as a great foundation to be used for the home automation. So coming specifically to your question, what changes were made? Actually, there were two changes, major changes, that were actually necessary to answer the needs of the home automation. Number one is that if you want to use DECT in sensors and actuators and battery-operated devices, then this battery life should span several years, not couple of weeks that you would find in the normal DECT telephone. That's one challenge. And second challenge is, of course, security. If you are using DECT for the home security, then it should have security that would be almost impossible to penetrate and hack into it. So these were the two major changes that were applied to the DECT by ETSI Technical Committee, and actually starting April this year, actually DECT ULE or ULE has become an ETSI standard. On top of that, the ULE Alliance was formed by 5 major players in the DECT industry in the beginning of the year with a mission to promote this ULE technology worldwide. We started with 5 in the beginning of the year. As of today, 9 months later, we already have almost 40 members. And this membership actually goes and expands very fast. We experience here very high level of interest in the ULE technology because it's an existing base, very solid base, and actually I call ULE the new but yet most experienced kid on the block.
Right. And on that side of things, let's talk about application scenarios for a second, because home automation, everybody is talking about it, and you're absolutely right that for a long time there's been this whole thing, well, is it going to be Zigbee? Is it going to be Wi-Fi? What's going to be the connector layer? Because you don't want 20 different proprietary protocols running around, because that then stops appliance manufacturers making smart appliances because they don't know what chipset to put in. So you guys are introducing yet another actor in an already quite quite a range of solutions. So why do that? what's unique, and it doesn't matter whether you come to the party later in the day or beginning in the day. If you've got the right solution, it'll get pretty good adoption. So where are the differences?
Actually, you answered the question that it doesn't matter if you are late, and ULE is more than 10 years late compared to other short-range technologies. However, if you do it right, then you have a right to exist. And this is actually a message of ULE. I believe that we are doing it right, with the interference-free communication, with the highest range, with a very low cost of ownership, because we are coming from the consumer product area. So we know what it makes to go into the consumer products, and definitely home automation is actually at the end of the day, it's a consumer
and you can buy a DECT handset for
you can buy the DECT system today at cheaper than the family pizza. So definitely we are aiming to be on that level.
So is this disruptive? You DECT sort of entering with those changes, now being a viable contender. Is it disruptive?
I think that you can define it as disruptive, because everything around here today and this week is about home automation. But just walk around here actually focuses on the smart homes and metering, etc. But there are additional aspects. And when you look at it, electricity companies, the gas companies, water companies, security companies, etc., they have kind of distinct entry and exit to our homes. I consider them as isolated islands. But these isolated islands, while serving the utility company, they do not serve well the house inhabitant, me. Today, in our era, with smartphones and tablets and etc., we want to be connected and we want to be in control of everything. So the real challenge is taking of these isolated islands and connecting them. ULE brings the technology that will allow to bridge all these isolated islands to a main brain in-house, which can be your home gateway, which is there already. And actually there are tens of millions of home gateways which are DECT enabled. So basically, consequently, they are ULE enabled. So you don't have to replace this.
So when you're talking about the home gateways, you're talking about the router in my house.
It's a router, exactly. Exactly.
So that connection between, and then, but some would argue that router is Wi-Fi enabled.
That is correct. However, if you want to connect the sensor to the router, sensor cannot be, unfortunately, Wi-Fi. Fortunately, a sensor cannot be Wi-Fi enabled, because the battery life will be like hours, not years, that we are talking about. And this is actually where the ULE comes and enables actually this connectivity. There are other things that you don't need the bandwidth, whole bandwidth of Wi-Fi in order to connect the sensor to the,
because
the amount of information is very limited.
Yeah, because sensor technology, it's about bursts,
it's about the burst, exactly. It's technology is about bursts. It's a relatively small amount of data, and you need a cost-effective solution for that. And again, the main message of ULE are the interference-free. You can have many devices connected to a single base and still operate cleanly without any interference from Bluetooth or Wi-Fi or any other technologies around.
So your next challenge really is probably, and I did tell you the time goes fast when you're sat in the studio, yes. So we're nearly coming to the end of our time here. But your challenge is to get a pretty rapid ecosystem adoption of the smart appliances and all those things using DECT, as opposed to whatever they might be considering at the moment, Z-Wave, Zigbee, whatever.
That is very correct, and I'm glad to say that in our alliance today, almost half of the members are non-traditional DECT companies. They come from security, energy, smart home areas, and this actually is very encouraging for us to see that companies and new members from outside of the traditional DECT community paying attention to us. This is actually indication, a very good indication of the high level of acceptance and interest
Name
in
us,
the DECT.
name us some names. Are there any sort of household ones that pop out of the?
Some of the companies that are in the Netgear, for example, from the US.
Right.
Of course, the Panasonic and Gigaset and Deutsche Telekom, who is a big operator and actually is interested in the home automation. Also, they are part of our members. NEC.
Yeah, because
yes.
that's an interesting one. Because I believe that the telcos will be a major home automation, and that they've already got that DECT experience. So for them, they're like going, "Hang on a minute, I've already got the skill set to work with this protocol, as opposed to learning something." I've just given you a free plug there. So,
yes,
I'm afraid we've come to the end of our time here. It's been great having you on board, and I hope we can continue the conversation, because I certainly think the Engerati community would be really interested in the developments, and if we can get some other material, then. Actually, if you're watching this and you see some links down the bottom to some other material, we've managed to get some material from the ULE Alliance for you to read a little bit more about. And thank you for watching this interview. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.